1 week ago at MagicCon Amsterdam, Wizards of the Coast fired off an absolute deluge of previews for upcoming cards, products, and events. There was, of course, an entire panel dedicated to spoilers for the upcoming Hobbit set, featuring the first appearance of iconic characters like Thranduil and Bard, as well as stunning reprints of Lord of the Rings bangers like Orcish Bowmasters and Flame of Anor. And in case you were wondering, yes, there's lots of new secret layers coming to Magic the Gathering, including a Stardew Valley super drop, which went on sale today and is probably sold out. But will the same thing happen for the much anticipated Hatsune Miku Commander deck that's going on sale later this year? Look, there she is, dancing the gritty. And we even got previews for the set after The Hobbit, Reality Fracture, the culmination of Magic's current story arc, in which Jace attempts to create an alternate reality to the multiverse we know. In gameplay terms, this manifests itself through a series of mirrored pairs, cards which appear together in booster packs and represent alternate universe versions of each other. Showcasing this mechanic are alternate versions of iconic cards and characters from throughout Magic's history. From White Liliana to Red Ajani, Green Tiny Bones, and many, many more. There was also a lot of excitement about the revelation of next year's MagicCons, where we're getting not one but 2 events outside of the United States. Wow! You're welcome, rest of the world. So in addition to our usual return to Amsterdam, we'll also be going to Tokyo. What a lineup of stellar cities. Amsterdam, Tokyo, and in the United States, it's Detroit. Maybe that's where they'll unveil Aether Drift 2 coming in 2028. And at those Magic Cons, you'll be able to experience Mystery Booster Commander Edition, featuring Homelands. That's right, we're going back to Homelands, with this legendary dynamic duo, Joven and Chandler. And competitive old heads were thrilled at the announcement that the Pro Tour Hall of Fame would once again be admitting new members. Go Miku, go Miku, go! Of course, the real newsmaker of the event was the revelation of what Magic the Gathering sets are coming in 2027. And big news, they're all in-universe, or at least the ones that they showed off were. Honestly, I think it was an excellent strategic decision to choose only to reveal the in-universe sets at MagicCon Amsterdam, with the 3 Universes Beyond sets to be revealed at a later date. We don't need to worry about them for now. This actually gives the in-universe sets the opportunity to stand out without the cloud of Universes Beyond related discourse and controversy hanging over their heads. And shine they did, because the sets revealed at MagicCon Amsterdam are all unique, interesting, and exciting, and honestly, I'm so thrilled for 2027. So in this video, I'm going to take a deeper look at the in-universe Magic sets that are coming to us in 2027. I'll be recapping all the information that was revealed, what each of these sets is about, and why I think all of them are shaping up to be so great. And to celebrate this amazing 2027 schedule of Magic releases, I'm giving away every single play and collector booster box from 2026 that has currently been released. Sorry, Hobbit. But you can think of it as me opening up my Hobbit hole for all of you to pillage. No, wait, that sounds terrible. Let me phrase that a better way. I got nothing. It's every single collector booster box and every single play booster box, and screw it, every single Commander Precon of this year to celebrate the fact that 2027 looks pretty good, pretty good. Look, there's one now. Wow, you might get that for free from me, or maybe one of these. Ooh. And it's all happening on Whatnot this Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific. Come hang out with me, the professor. Whatnot is just like if Twitch and eBay had a baby. People are able to stream items that they're auctioning off or selling at flat rates, or in my case, giving away for free. Don't worry, I'm selling stuff too, like signed playmats, signed deck boxes, signed Fantastic cars. Vintage goes brrrr. And I'll even give you $15 credit to spend on anything in my store or anyone's store on Whatnot when you create a brand new account at www.whatnot.com/invite/Tolarian College. So come join me this Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific on Whatnot. I'm giving all of this away. Look at it all. Oh, there it goes. Collector booster boxes from 2026 from every set, my goodness, and all the others on Whatnot this Friday. Come hang out! And thank you, Whatnot, for sponsoring this video. So what does 2027 hold for Magic the Gathering? Well, for this video, I want to begin at the end of the year, that is, with our return to a place long since thought lost. Zhalfir, a 5,000-year-old kingdom of military and might, from the western coast of the continent of Jamura on the plain of Dominaria, home to countless great mages and heroes such as Teferi and Jolrael. When the Phyrexians launched their first invasion of Dominaria, knowing Zhalfir would join the fight and would likely lose, Teferi took the drastic step of phasing Zhalfir out of existence in order to protect it. Though he saved his home from the ravages of Phyrexian war, phasing an entire kingdom out of existence created a knot of magic so tangled that even Teferi proved unable to undo it, and Zhalfir was thought to be lost to eternity. Zhalfir was actually featured back in 1996's Mirage block, which consisted of 3 sets: Mirage, Visions, and Weatherlight. The block primarily told the story of the Mirage War, and where such famous cards such as Lion's Eye Diamond, Enlightened Tutor, and Mystical Tutor originated, as well as many others, all of which took a place in the history and hearts of Magic players. Not to mention what I always felt was some of the most gorgeous and distinct basic land art. Fast forward 300 years to yet another Phyrexian invasion, this time on a multiversal scale, as depicted in 2023's March of the Machines. Through an accident with a device called the Temporal Anchor, Teferi found himself stranded on Zhalfir, cut off from the rest of existence. The planeswalker Wren was able to locate Teferi by merging with the Phyrexian invasion tree Realmbreaker, and in so doing, she located the rest of Zhalfir. This allowed her to force the entire plane of New Phyrexia into the tangled knot of magic surrounding Zhalfir, effectively swapping the places of these 2 locations and returning Zhalfir to existence, where it now exists as a separate plane in its own right. While it has been 3 centuries since Zhalfir last existed in phase with the rest of the multiverse, the Zhalfirans have only perceived about 10 years passing. The result is a Zhalfir that feels like a time capsule, where the culture of Jamura is alive and thriving. But this isn't just a return to Mirage, as the 5 sons of Mirrodin now orbit Zhalfir, bathing the plane in perpetual daylight and infusing the land with their magic. Contrasting this unending day is the Spirit Realm, a world of eternal night, populated by the ancestral spirits of Zhalfir, and also by dark and dangerous beings. Trails of color streak across an endless starry sky, reflecting beautifully off the landscape below. Not everything here is dangerous, but it all commands respect. The people and environments of Zhalfir draw heavily from the aesthetics of Afrofantasy and Afrofuturism, filtering cultural elements of the Black diaspora through the lens of speculative fiction. The seeds of this have been present since Mirage, but this set provides an excellent opportunity for those seeds to be cultivated in a way that reflects modern sensibilities and views on representation. While, as always, just as with those old basic lands, art is subjective, I feel the environments previewed so far are simply stunning, gorgeous, and manage to evoke the feeling of old-school Magic the Gathering without feeling dated or shoehorned. Towering statues of humanoid figures overlap craggy canyons and rolling plains and serve to deepen the feeling that Zhalfir is a land with a deep connection to its history. The plane is smaller than many others, having originated as a mere kingdom upon a continent upon a plane, and yet we feel a sense of scale created by diverse and sprawling landscapes. While Zhalfir is now its own plane in the lore, I just loved how in old Magic worlds, places like Dominaria were massive, with diverse continents that made each plane feel complex and rich. In a way, and I'm just gonna say this here, Zhalfir is gonna be like we're returning to Dominaria. I mean, it is Dominaria. Zhalfir was a kingdom on that plane. Yes, it's been shifted and phased, and it now exists where Mirrodin once did, but going back to Zhalfir is still us going back to where Magic the Gathering started. Dominaria. I am so hyped. The characters shown at MagicCon feature an eclectic blend of design elements, both traditional and speculative, staying true to their real-life inspirations while infusing plenty of unique magic flair. Variations between different colors of mana manifest themselves in character design, from futuristic blue to naturalistic green and everything in between. Even with all these distinctions, a clear and cohesive aesthetic of Zhalfir emerges and serves as a well-executed love letter to the initial design principles of representation and authenticity. And yes, as one would expect for the first full-set feature of a 30-year-old location, Zhalfir also manages to bring an incredible amount of fan service to the table. As someone who is at least 30 years old himself, I appreciate this. Y'all got Ninja Turtles and Marvel, me and my fellow olds get Zhalfir, okay? While we only got a small taste at MagicCon, there's incredible potential here to pay homage to both Mirage Block and the original Mirrodin, prior to its Phyrexian corruption. For a slightly more recent dash of nostalgia, this set also marks the return of Teferi, now de-sparked and residing on his home plane. It remains to be seen what role Teferi will play in the upcoming Magic storyline, but he's certainly a character who evokes strong reactions within the player base, for better or for worse, and is simply a beloved character for Magic boomers such as myself, as he originated in that ancient era known as the 1990s. If you're a longtime Magic the Gathering player, it's impossible not to be excited for this set. The opportunity to fully feature and do justice to one of the most storied locations in the history of Magic's multiverse is just incredible. It's always heartening to see the creative team at Wizards of the Coast willing to pay homage to the history of this game in a way that goes deeper than lip service. Ultimately, this set is going to be a love letter to both Zhalfir itself and to the players who have such fond memories of it, to those of us who have been there since long ago. So Zhalfir releases in October of 2027, but it's not the only in-universe set previewed at MagicCon. Oh no, because apparently, and I can't believe I'm saying this, I can't believe this is happening, but apparently we are going to a merfolk plane! Merfolk plane! Okay, there's apparently other things there besides merfolk, but nonetheless, it felt like a dream come true when Wizards of the Coast revealed that the first set of 2027 would be Noctis, Sunken Realm. The plane of Noctis is entirely subaquatic, the first of its kind in Magic's multiverse. Submerged beneath the waves of an endless ocean lies a vast and varied world, from kelp forests to underwater civilizations and everything in between. Did I mention there's merfolk? Because there's merfolk! That's right, the best creature type in all of Magic the Gathering, I will not be taking questions at this time, is headlining this set. And as always, there's a slightly different take on the classic merfolk concept than we've ever seen before. From the traditionally fishy merfolk of Dominaria, to the more humanoid and almost leafy denizens of Ixalan, to the duality of friendly yet cutthroat merfolk of Lorwyn and Shadowmoor, each plane in the Magic multiverse manages to put its own unique spin on the classic creature of folklore. Here we see a bit of a fusion of several different concepts, with several of the more fishy traits overlaid on an overall humanoid frame. Fins protrude from otherwise human arms and legs, while feet taper off into structures better suited for propelling oneself through an endless ocean. Pointed ears and crown-like fins atop the head grant an overall effect that's reminiscent of classical fantasy high elves, a resemblance that's only amplified by the towering cities in which they reside, as well as their overall air of refinement and grace. Traits I share as well. In addition to merfolk, it has also been confirmed that Noctis is home to shark folk, squid folk, seals, and these crustacean-like creatures who bear a suspicious resemblance to Dominaria's hominids. Wait, could Noctis really be the return of hominids? Oh snap, my Homerid Commander deck is going to go from bracket 1 to bracket 1.5. Though they've endured some design inconsistencies throughout the years, Homerids have nevertheless survived several rounds of creature-type consolidation and remain a cult classic among elderly Magic players, such as myself. So much so that one recently showed up in a cowboy hat for Outlaws of Thunder Junction. Oh my god, they really did that, huh? Well, whether the Omen Paths have also thrown them into the deep end of Noctis is yet to be revealed, but the similarities are certainly there. On the other end of the size spectrum, it's said that gods lurk beneath these waves, commanding the currents as they swim alongside their followers. In some of the concept art, we see enormous leviathans, almost unfathomable in their scale. Ordinary whales provide a point of reference, appearing almost comically small as they're swallowed by the dozens. Mysterious giants of the depths are a long-standing trope, and these strange and beautiful behemoths are an excellent execution. And what about humanity? Well, rather than following the Bloomburrow and Lorwyn footprint of excluding humans entirely, they are present on Noctis. But as one would expect for a land-dwelling species, they're portrayed as outsiders. Clad in Bioshock-esque diving suits and wielding weapons with almost steampunk flair, it's not yet clear how these humans fit into the overall fabric of the world, but it's certainly a creative and compelling interpretation of an otherwise familiar species. Aesthetically, this set is a marvel. Underwater civilizations are well-trodden ground in popular culture, from the legend of Atlantis to modern fiction. To take all of these disparate inspirations and weave them together into something that feels fresh and exciting is a remarkable feat. The sheer breadth of environments and characters on display, unified under a single coherent and unique theme, is a true testament to the strength of Wizards of the Coast's creative team and makes Noctis one of the most exciting new planes in recent memory, and also, did I mention, it has merfolk. The creative conceit of an entirely underwater world manifests itself also in the set's design, as this will be the first premier Magic expansion to not contain creatures with flying. Instead, an as-yet unrevealed new evasion mechanic will take its place, one that promises to be much more fitting for a fully submerged setting. And no, they have already confirmed that it is not seahorsemanship, nor shadow, though of course that would be a really funny thing to do. But we're not going for cheap laughs here, as the design team's overall goal is for this set to feel like a traditional Magic set, with lead designer Ian Duke going on the record saying that despite Blue's oceanic associations, the color balance in this set will feel much closer to normal than most people expect. A quick glance at the set's concept art explains how this could possibly be the case. There are of course vast expanses of endless ocean, but there are also massive cities with gleaming spires, dense and mysterious kelp forests, and an area known only as the Dark Abyss, littered with massive whale bones. These distinct biomes are unified and enhanced by their shared underwater aesthetic, and showcase an excellent and creative way to vary the plane's color identity without compromising its overall feel. We don't know much about Noctis yet, but for the first time in a long time, I cannot wait for the endless deluge of previews to spread their seas all over me. Yeah, give me those Noctis previews, baby. Oh, who am I kidding? Wizards of the Coast is probably going to give me a basic mountain to preview for this set. I'm just joking. Wizards of the Coast doesn't give me preview cards. But wait, could they give me the greatest gift of all? My lifelong dream of a Merfolk Matters Bant Merfolk Commander? I mean, I already was given this in a way in the form of the Scholar of Seas. The greatest Merfolk Commander ever designed, but it's technically a card you can only get at a mystery booster event at MagicCon, so not necessarily a quote-unquote real card, even though it's awesome. And yes, it's essentially my card. Gavin made it with me in mind. It's his response to my years upon years of complaints about getting a Bant Merfolk Commander. It's perfect. I love it. Maybe Noctis will give it to us as a real card in the set, or maybe they'll give us something better, a better Bant Merfolk Commander. Or they'll give us a Shark Folk Commander in Bant just to screw with me, but whatever, I don't care. I'm excited for Noctis, which hits our shores on February 5th, 2027. As I said to Mark Rosewater at MagicCon Amsterdam, you son of a bitch, I'm in. I didn't really say that to him. We did get in a Chaos Draft together, though. You'll be able to watch that on an upcoming episode of Pack It Up. But before we go there is one more in-universe set for 2027, though it actually involves two beloved Magic planes. Kamigawa is back in 2027, and it's being invaded by Ikoria? That's right, we're doing Ikoria Kaiju attack on Kamigawa, baby! Worlds collide and titans clash as Kamigawa meets Ikoria in Kamigawa Titan Breach. First appearing back in 2004 with Champions of Kamigawa, the original Kamigawa was a plane rooted in Japanese mythology. Unfortunately, this first incarnation of the plane was hampered by design issues. The bulk of its cards and mechanics were either too weak or too strong and created miserable play patterns. The following years saw the plane become something of a cult classic among fans, with a persistent and growing fondness for its aesthetics and lore. This would all culminate in the release of Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, a complete refresh of the plane with a cyberpunk flair. Neon Dynasty was an instant smash hit, becoming the best-selling set of all time upon its release and proving the player base's appetite for Kamigawa sets. On the other hand, 2020's Ikoria was marketed as a plane of giant monsters, even going so far as to provide an excuse for one of the earliest Universes Beyond crossovers with various Godzilla-themed reskins of the set's creatures. The actual monsters of Ikoria, however, weren't quite as prevalent as the marketing would have one believe. The set instead focused on a wide variety of beasts and other fauna residing on the plane and their relationship with both their environment and with the humans living there. And while everyone agreed this was a cool concept, it still wasn't quite what players had been expecting. And thus, for a return to Ikoria to be successful, we need actual giant monsters, and a lot of them. We need kaiju. So how can we lean into the kaiju feel? Well, what if we simply opened up the sky above Kamigawa and dropped Ikoria right on top of it? Kamigawa Titan Breach pits kaiju versus mechs, as Kamigawa struggles for survival against this titanic incursion. Right off the bat, this is an obvious conceptual slam dunk. Nowhere is the cultural footprint of kaiju stronger than in Japan. After all, it's the birthplace of those Godzilla cards I mentioned earlier. Placing these titanic beings against the backdrop of Kamigawa's futuristic Japanese aesthetic is both an easy call to make and one that serves to hammer home the intended point of the set. Even beyond that, the set also makes a lot of sense from a strategic standpoint. Kamigawa has become one of the most well-loved planes in Magic's multiverse. The plane's inherent appeal means it's likely any new set featuring Kamigawa is likely to be operating off a baseline level of fan interest and, presumably, sales success. On the other hand, the original Ikoria arrived at a very strange time in Magic's life. It was first released in spring of 2020, as the world was still reeling from the initial onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. Paper Magic was all but non-existent. The exclusively digital nature of most players' initial Ikoria experiences limited its cultural footprint, and its popularity was further hampered by some key design issues. Most notably, the infamous companion mechanic was notoriously overpowered, getting multiple cards banned across most 60-card formats, and eventually requiring functional errata in order to be even remotely acceptable. This combination of factors has left Ikoria with a somewhat weird legacy. While players seem to genuinely like the overall idea of the setting and want to return there, they haven't exactly been asking for just Ikoria 2, and thus doing something really interesting like pairing it with a plane as popular as Kamigawa, even ignoring how much of a layup it is thematically, should go a long way to ensure that this return is a successful and beloved one, and hopefully it'll work to rehab the plane's overall vibes. As for Titan Breach itself, the name of the game is size. Ikoria's biggest and baddest have come out to play, prompting Kamigawa to respond in kind with some truly massive mechs. As these towering titans clash, their respective realms are reduced to mere playgrounds for their destruction. Here we see Ikoria's monsters rampaging through Kamigawa, a diverse collection of naturalistic and terrifying creatures. No two are quite alike, and all feel like they could truly inhabit one of Ikoria's varied biomes. On the other side of the conflict, rather than leaning into any single unified aesthetic for their mech designs, the Kamigawans have elected to reflect the diversity of their plane in the appearance of their giant robots. Molten lava runs through the core of the blood-red warriors of Sokenzan, while those sent by the Palace Eiganjo marry traditional imperial heraldry with modern technological flourish. Though they're dwarfed by the conflict itself, the humans caught in the middle are said to be the emotional core of the story. How are the denizens of Kamigawa faring with this invasion? How has the merging of the planes affected the daily lives of those who live there? Of course, for some of you, the mech battle alone is probably going to be enough for the set to be awesome, and that's the beauty of Titan Breach. There's really something for everyone here. Whether you're excited for the daily lives of Kamigawan citizens, or you want to see how a Korean society has adapted to the aftermath of the Phyrexian invasion, there's content here for you. Or if you just want to see a giant robot punch a giant dinosaur, there's definitely content here for you. Either way, Kamigawa Titan Breach drops June 4th, 2027. But there's still 3 more sets, oh my god, coming to us in 2027, all of them universes beyond. What will they be? Well, I make my predictions here, but I do think that a news story about Hasbro getting the rights to The Legend of Zelda might be an indicator where we're going. Either way, I now want to hear from you. What do you think of the in-universe sets of 2027? What do you think we're doing in terms of universes beyond next year? Let me know in the comments below. And remember, this very Friday, I'm giving away every single collector booster box, every single play booster box, and every single commander deck of 2026 on Whatnot at 3 p.m. Pacific. Oh, there goes one now. Wow, there it goes. We're giving all of this away. Look at it all. It's all here on the screen. I'm being buried by it. It's coming from me to you, courtesy of Whatnot. And I'm also giving you a $15 credit to spend in my store or anyone's store when you create a new account at www.whatnot.com/invite/Tolarian College. Come join me, the professor, this Friday. Maybe walk away with some free stuff, and let's just sit and chat about 2027. Or I guess there's still a few sets left in 2026. We can talk about that too. Either way, thank you, Whatnot, for sponsoring this giveaway and this video.
Next time on Shuffle Up and Play, I can't wait to see what happens.
We Hearthstone now because I've invited not 1, but 2 famous Hearthstone streamers here today.
I'm gonna kick you in the shin.
Because I like you guys all so much, I'm gonna play Esper Sentinel. You want me to read it?
Are you
Urza.
kidding me?
Great. I'm gonna go ahead
and pay the 1?
TGB, it's turn 1. Can you
Tezzeret.
relax?
Tap for 3 to play Phyrexian Unlife.
It's a miracle! Improvisation capstone.
Just let me know when I can kill you.
And that kid is called gentle parenting. I hit you once.
Listen, hit me again.
Relax, okay?
Hit me again.
You can't just ask that, okay? That could cost money.